You're listening to a Reliance podcast, conversations and insights about our efforts to end sexual violence in one generation.
Hello, thank you for joining our Reliance podcast. I'm here with Tony West, the Chief Legal Officer of Uber. And first of all, Tony, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on your award as the Corporate Innovator of the Year for Reliance. We're really excited about the award. I think you've done such a great job here and are really looking forward to getting to ask you a few questions about your work at Uber and some of the great progress that you've made.
Thanks so much, Ebony. It's great to be with you. Thank you.
So I have to ask, what brought you to Uber in the first place?
Well, Uber was in a different place when I joined a little over a year ago. We had a number of legal challenges, a number of cultural challenges, and I think part of what drew me there were the challenges because I felt like I could make an impact. But I also came to Uber because I felt like it was a company that was making a difference. It's an amazing platform that touches millions of people every single day. And it's a real opportunity to make sure that you're actually improving a lot of lives. And so all of that really attracted me to this opportunity.
Wow. So you could definitely see the potential there. Have you seen some of that be realized, or where do you think Uber is now?
Absolutely. I think, because of the work of a lot of people, we've been able to make, I think, a lot of important changes, not just the legal issues, but help change the culture of the company. We have a cultural norm, what I call the company's North Star, do the right thing, period. And it really has been the organizing principle that has guided a lot of how we approach challenges, how we approach what it means to be a company, to do business in the right way, to do business with integrity, with accountability, with transparency. And it translates into ways that help to set our corporate priorities. And so, one of the most important things that we focused on over the last year has been safety, improving the safety of the platform and making sure that that is manifest in everything from the actions we take as a company to what happens in the app and how the app is used and the different features that we offer. So I feel very good about the journey that the company has had over the last year and a half. We have a lot more work to do. It's certainly a lot more road to travel, but I feel very good about how far we've come.
Well, it definitely seems like the company has come pretty far. We really looked at some of the great work you've done when it came to eliminating forced arbitration in sexual assault cases, as well as the upcoming Uber Transparency Report and the previously developing a taxonomy around that. So could you give us some information about why the Transparency Report was so important to you and to Uber and what led to that?
Sure. Well, I think when it came to this issue of sexual assault, sexual harassment, when we talk about what it means to stand for safety, you can't talk about that without really focusing on this issue. And if that's true, then that means you have to understand what's happening on your platform. And so that's where we started having the conversations about how do we do a better job of understanding that so that we can develop best practices and approaches to prevent it in the first place. And that led us to reach out to groups like yours to help us develop a way of counting these incidents in a consistent manner, because different institutions count incidents of sexual violence in different ways. And that means the data we get is haphazard, it's not consistent, it makes it very difficult to develop best practices and know what works and what doesn't. And so we reached out to this consortium of groups who've been working in this space for years to make sure that we were completely informed by folks who understand how to help us categorize these incidents in the best way possible. That's survivor-informed, victim-informed, and incorporate some of the best thinking.
So I think there's going to be a lot of advocates who are listening to this who are really excited about having better data, having more data with a great taxonomy in ways that are measuring not just a law enforcement response, but response in a lot of other systems that survivors encounter. So thank you for that. As we have advocates listening, I think it's really interesting to talk about the ways that Uber has engaged with advocacy organizations, as you mentioned before, and also maybe if you could answer, how do you think it's best for advocates to engage with corporations using sort of your own thoughts about the way Uber has done that work?
I think part of it is what I've learned over the years and what advocates have taught me is that it's more important you are properly responding to survivors in a way that empowers survivors, that restores agency. And that's a frame that I would only get through that kind of engagement. And I think for companies, it's very important to be able to reach out and engage the advocacy community. On the other side, I think it's important for advocates to help companies understand why this is an important thing to do. It is connected to the ability of women to succeed in the workplace. There's a lot of effort that goes into and a lot of resources that go into trying to ensure that workplaces are attracting women, are retaining women, are promoting women. And that is all important work and should continue to happen, but it is not disconnected from sexual harassment and sexual assault. If you're in business, this is an important issue for you. If you're in government, this is an important issue for you. Because this issue is pervasive and affects all aspects of our society and business, it's an issue that we have to engage.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I will say we really appreciate being able to talk to you today. And I think that is it for the Reliance podcast. This is Ebony Tucker. I'm the Advocacy Director at Reliance, talking to Tony West, the Chief Legal Officer at Uber.
Thank you so much.